Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we are at property address, bear with me here, 11385 Southwest Fauner Street here in Tigard, located down in the basement, going through a 3-inch ABS cleanout. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water is running. I'm actually pushed just outside the foundation. I've zeroed out here. Just for the sake, it's kind of an awkward setup here to reel back in, so, there does appear to be a two-way cleanout on the outside there. That's why I was just parked underneath there a moment ago, trying to dig up. And it's possible it could be like a storm system tie-in, but it appears to be a two-way access point, which is indicative of a clean-out access, not a drain fitting. So, but if it is a clean-out, I don't think they stubbed the thing up hardly at all to ground surface. So. It's just kind of goofy in here the way that this angle is. It's hard to, you gotta have the camera cable sprawled all over the place. Just went past the tie-in there, and right now we are in 4-inch pipe. The line starts out upon access as 3-inch, but it goes very quickly to 4-inch cast iron, and then just outside the house it swaps over to 4-inch ABS plastic. A moment ago we just went past the tie-in. It's near the front left corner of the house. There's another clean out there for a second branch of pipe that ties in on the exterior. We went through an area of some level of standing water a moment ago. We've got about, I think, 2 or 3 different fixtures running right now, so we'll see how that looks on the way out when the line's drained. It's going to be exaggerated, anything we see right now. And just transition there to 4-inch 3034. A little bit of shifting's taking place at that joint. We'll take a look at that on the way out too. The lip on its own is very minor though. All right, located the camera head successfully. Line terminates right out front. The line goes, if you stand out in the street and face into the property, there is a mailbox kind of at the front left corner of the property. It's for the neighbor to the left of this house. The line just about goes underneath that. That's just kind of a reference point for where the line's traveling. Pops out the left side of the house, turns, and then shoots out to the street. All right, very, very minor offset there at the transition joint. I mean, we're talking maybe 1/4 of an inch. It's extremely minor. I will notate it on the report, but that is a long ways off from repair worthy there. Realistically, after doing almost 25,000 sewer scopes and a lot of drain cleaning, I usually don't start seeing much in the way, especially in 4-inch diameter plastic pipe with nice smooth pipe walls. You don't really see a whole lot of action happening until you hit about the 1-inch offset mark. And still, usually when I'm looking at stuff like that, that's had a problem happen. What I'm also usually looking at is 14 balled up pieces of toilet paper, wipes, paper towels, stuff like that. A joint that small, especially at almost 80 feet from the home, has almost no bearing on functionality at all. And we still look like we had a little bit of water trickling through there. It's quite a clean sewer line. There's very little buildup to speak of in it. Most notably, no grease buildup. You might have the ever so slightest amount of standing water. I mean, we're talking like 32nd of an inch, almost unseeable levels of standing water. This stuff is so minor, it's not even going on a report. We may also have just a little bit of water still breaking loose. And when you have a belly in the line behind you, when you move the camera back and forth, it will often slosh a little bit of the water out of it. Cause it to run down line. So I don't like to legitimize bellies on a report when they're 32nd of an inch or less. Barely even tell they're a belly at all. Alright, this right here, I believe, is where the tie-in comes in. This is right where that other line ties into the pipe. And that stringy item coming off that joint there looks like a piece of debris, like a piece of dental floss. Whatever it is, looks like it's connected to the joint. I don't see dirt staining coming off the pipe joint or anything like that. It looks like a piece of dental floss got caught in the pipe joint. And being that it is right after a tie-in there, that is likely for another bathroom, not an uncommon thing to see. And that dental floss, by the way, is something you do not want to put down your line. I actually have a line from last week we had to do a bunch of cleaning on. It had so much dental floss caught throughout it. It was causing buildup to occur in the flow line. It's very strong stuff. When it gets hung up somewhere, it stays there for forever, and it will snag things up as it comes to the line, especially if you flush it down the pipe a lot. It's more so of a problem in older pipe materials that have a rougher texture to them. So right there at about 32 feet, we come out of some standing water. Still right now, we're still only maybe at between a 1/16 and 1/4 inch of water here. In the world of bellies, very minor. You can see how there's no buildup on the sidewalls of the pipe, no buildup at the top of the sewer pipe. And I really would not expect to see a bunch of buildup like that with a belly this size, not unless the line was being abused. You know, if the line had lots of cooking oil and stuff like that going down it, you might expect to see some more buildup here. But at its worst point there, that belly does not even completely submerge my camera head. You might be around somewhere between 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch at its worst point. And being that I could even recommend you spend $5 in drain cleaning on this thing, that's not a belly I'm going to recommend repairs on. It's just too minor, in my opinion, to need that. Especially if there's not enough buildup to even drain clean the line. Anyway, it's 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch at its worst point. Most of the belly is around the 1/16 to 1/4 inch mark. And about the main things that you will see consistently hanging up in standing water that minor, by and large, is fats going down your kitchen sink drain. If you're putting a lot of grease and cooking oil down your pipe, which you should not do, by the way, that stuff will build up anywhere in a sewer line, but it tends to concentrate in standing water, whether it's minor or significant, because it cools down rapidly and it floats to the top of the water and sticks to the sidewalls. Otherwise, the only other debris I would ever expect to see hanging up there is if the line was being heavily abused. You know, massive wads, multiple, wads of toilet paper, stuff that's going to clog the line just about anywhere else, and or mostly improper stuff. Wipes, paper towels, flushable wipes, things like that. And I do include the flushable wipes in the improper category. You don't want them going down your line. In total here, it's about 96 feet to the main. Remember, I zeroed out there at the exterior. There is a two-way, it looks like, clean out on the outside. I just don't think they stubbed the clean out up very high. I originally came out here thinking this line was going to be difficult to scope, so I tried to expose that thing. The camera goes through this. I did that left-handed. I'm right-handed, one-handed there all the way to the main. So this access point is definitely adequate. If for some reason you ever needed even better dexterity here, you have two cleanouts down here in the basement. You've also got another one on the side. There's a lot of cleanout access here. If you ever really had to get down on this thing for whatever reason, you have this cleanout that I went through here, which lets you run water through the sinks. If you had to, you pop that one open, which is much more convenient to run through, although those can sometimes let water backflow out of them. What you can do is just, if you had to, run a garden hose right through the side of it, out into the line a little ways, and run water that way. Or run water through the exterior cleanout on the outside. There's a lot of options. But installing a cleanout is absolutely unnecessary here. Anyhow, we have good flow all the way out to the main lateral connection. All the I've mentioned a few minor issues throughout the line. No repair recommendations here at all. Very clean line with good flow to the main lateral. And being that it's almost a 100-foot long sewer line, I fully expect to see some level of standing water. Most lines that push over 90 to 100 feet, unless they're on a hillside, will have some level of settling. And luckily here, it's pretty minor stuff. Not even enough standing water there to cause any kind of buildup to occur. Anyhow, sewer line is functioning properly at this time.